fighter roster information. So EA released this earlier today in response to all of the questions that everyone has had in regards to, why did the game drop with no new fighters at all? And I'll say this is something that I'm very surprised they actually did. I mean, of course, there was a lot of pressure. The journalist that talked to Dana White, there's footage of that all over the place. He was asking Dana, why is it that there were no new fighters that were released as the new game dropped? And Dana, of course, had him list off fighters that he thinks should be removed and fighters he believes should be added to the game. Of course, that made headlines. And when stuff like that happens, when Dana White gets involved and, the information travels a little bit higher than it typically does, right? Because we make noise, we complain about things on the surface, and it gets to some people at EA, right? But the ones that actually make the decisions, the one that actually move the needle, when Dana White gets involved, they get a knock on their door. And when those guys get a knock on their door, shit like this happens. So this is something that we already knew because when we noticed that there were no new fighters in the game, we definitely asked them why. We were like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, why are we not dropping a game with brand new fighters? This is definitely going to be an issue. People are going to complain about this. And pretty much what they said right here is what we got, right? And at the time, we really thought that it would be nice if they gave this exact information to people. And of course, when we ask a question like this and they give us an answer, we typically go, okay, can we talk about it? Can we tell them? I think it would be really nice if they at least got some kind of answer. It might not be the answer they want, but some kind of answer. Because for me as a consumer as well, right, sort of a lot of my annoyances gets appeased because I can ask a question and I can get an answer. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not really what I was hoping for, but hey, at least I got an answer. You know what I mean? I wish I was allowed to just tell you guys every little thing that I hear. You know what I mean? But you always got to get, hey, can we say this? No, it's under NDA. You can't. So I'm happy that they at least released some kind of information to you guys as to why there were no new fighters. Again, is this something that a lot of you are going to accept? No, and I really don't think you should. I think either way, a brand new game should drop with brand new fighters. I am with you guys on that one 100%. Brand new game, brand new fighters. But maybe this will be a decent compromise. To me, it's not really a decent compromise. What I would prefer, actually, let's go ahead and read what EA said, and then we'll talk about it. So right there, let me enlarge this so you guys can actually see what they said. Thank you to every single player who picked up EA Sports UFC 5 and helped us have an incredible launch week. We hope you're having your time in the octagon and fists are flying. We've been listening to your feedback, and one area we understand did not meet your expectations is the roster. We hear this feedback loud and clear, and we are working hard to deliver that depth. This is true. We are working hard to deliver that depth. This is true. They are. They really are. When UFC 5 was in early development, we made the decision that we wanted to keep supporting UFC 4 players as we began to develop UFC 5. Rather than halt live support for UFC 4, we've been updating the roster until July of this year with the goal of delivering fresh content to our community. Now, I understand a lot of you will read this right here and kind of gloss over it and go, yeah, who cares? That shouldn't stop you from releasing brand new fighters in the game anyways. But after realizing just what goes into a lot of these fighters actually being put into the game, like at first, before I became a game changer and I got a peek behind the curtain, I thought it was a very simple process, but it really is not is not that simple. So the fact that they kept adding fighters to UFC 4 even while developing EA Sports UFC 5, you can kind of understand the angle they're coming from right there. And if you don't, that's okay. That's okay if you don't. I'm just saying, it makes sense, right? They go on to say, we want the community to know exactly what to expect for new fighters in UFC 5. As part of our new Fight Week live service program, we plan on adding new fighters to the roster every month starting in December. So every single month, we'll be getting brand new fighters to the roster. We'll talk about that in a moment. We want to keep hearing which fighters you'd like in the game, so please keep giving us feedback and tell us who you want to see and in what order. Here is who we are planning on adding over the next few months. So in December, we'll get 2 fighters. I personally would like to see more fighters in a month, 2 fighters a month, even though I understand the amount of resources required to add these fighters. I think they can do more. I think 2 fighters a month, especially because the game did not drop with new fighters. I think they should go above and beyond. Like, they should really go above and beyond and give us more than 2 fighters. Of course, in January, we're getting 3, but I think 4 should be the minimum. Every single month, we should get like 4 new fighters. I think if we got 4 new fighters every single month, the roster will finally get updated. You know what I mean? Because, man, there are a lot of fighters missing. In December, they said we're to expect Yan Xiaonan and Amir Albazi. In January, we're to expect Ian Machado Gary. And Gary is a very highly requested fighter. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited to get him in the game. Mike Malott and Charles Jourdain. And in February, Bryce Mitchell will be added to the game. Macy Barber and Joe Pfeiffer. This Joe guy, he's a very popular one with specifically the UFC. UFC really wants to get him in, so he's going to be in February. They said also connected to Fight Week, we will add new alter egos every single month. This will give you guys new ways to play with your favorite fighters based on iconic moments in career. And then, they say we'll provide more visibility to the community in which roster fighters are coming to the game and when. Stay tuned for more updates here. So, again, major props to EA for actually saying something. Usually they don't. They just kind of let everybody sit there and speculate. But they gave the paying customer some information on why the product they paid for is not up to date. And I appreciate them doing that. Now, here's my concern, okay? And this is a concern that we've shared with them as well. You guys already know what happened with Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. We're still going to talk about those. The way they were released with quite literally zero uniqueness besides the way they look. When I tell you guys that drove me absolutely up the wall, it fucking did. And like the amount of time we spent trying to, and it just do not release the game with Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali like this. It's like, don't do it. They're like, okay, yeah, we can't do it. It's too late. It's too late. Okay. You guys, as you're planning to release these new fighters, for God's sake, plan to add some unique animations to these fighters. Nobody cares about just a regular skin that moves and fights like everybody else. No one cares about in Machado Gary, who of course we know has a very unique way that he moves and throws his punches and all that. Please do something. And I'm not just saying this on video. I'm also saying this to them. But like, do something. Add more unique animations to these new fighters so that they don't all feel the same. Because we don't just want skins. This is not Fortnite where you're just giving out skins. And the stats and the perks, all that is not going to be enough. It just flat out will not be enough. So, keeping my fingers crossed that there's a plan, that there's a part of the budget has been allocated towards this, especially because y'all have seen how I told y'all moving forward, it doesn't really matter what you do to the game. All the little things you add under the hood. If it looks like the other game, if it looks old, People are not gonna care too much about what you do under the hood. I've been saying this since like UFC 2, UFC 3, hell, UFC 1. I've been saying this since EA MMA. Go back and watch my videos. I've been complaining about fighter animations longer than anybody, any other person that makes anyone, period. So don't think that just because I'm not like bitching about this with every single video and I'm not like throwing a tantrum doesn't mean that like it's not pissing me off. It is. It bugs the shit out of me as well. And we tell them this. They know this. Like, it's not a surprise. It's not like they've never. I've drowned. I'm. A lot of them are sick and tired of hearing me talk about this shit. I talk about it every single day. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, man, that when it drops or when we start maybe not December. Okay, maybe not. Maybe. But now that you guys have a plan to drop new fighters every single month, just capture a few more unique animations. I'm not saying every single one has to be super unique because I understand the amount of work that goes into that. God knows I do. You guys have explained that to me a million times. I do. But just a few more unique movements, unique punches, unique kicks, unique idols that you can kind of spread out to some of these newer guys that are being added. I think that would at least appease the community a little bit. A lot. It's not going to do it completely, but people will at least see the effort. Like, okay, we heard you. We heard you. So, again, you guys have every right to be pissed off that you bought a game with no new fighters. You know, I don't know what else to say about that. EA took a major L on that one. Major L on that one. And I'm happy that it got to Dana, because it got to Dana. Someone that was up here at EA heard about it and was like, okay, all right, I guess we got to do something. We got to say something. And I like that. I like that. Maybe we need to find Dana a bit more and talk to him some more about some issues with the game. Maybe then, I don't know, maybe then they'll allocate some more resources to these developers so that they can actually go and make the game they want to make. You know, find Dana. Every single time that Dana does some kind of interview, ask him about UFC fight. Hey, Dana, have you noticed that a lot of fighters in your game don't have unique animations, man? And then Dana goes, what? Okay, which fighters? How about 99.9% of them? And then Dana goes, oh, okay, I guess we'll figure something out. And then, of course, somebody at EA that makes decisions, that moves the needle, hears about it, and then they'll decide, okay, fine, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more so you can go and actually make the game you want to make. Anyways, that's it. That is it. Do more of this, EA. Do more of this, because the more transparent you are, the more transparent that we can be, the more we can say that we, talk about the things that we actually know, and just the better, the closer the community is. Right now, everything's so divided. Everyone is so like, because people are making assumptions. Like, it's just like, oh, jeez. Anyways, I will leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you guys, just let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out, boys. Have a good night.